What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Well, happy Monday, everybody. We got some big news from Plarium as per usual Mondays. So let's go over all of that in this video. First, we're going to check out this summon pool event right now. So it seems to be pretty regular occurrence nowadays that Plarium's going to give us some of these summon pools. It seems to be every other week so far, but this one in particular, I think, is quite juicy, especially for somebody like myself who's transitioning more towards Hydra, trying to focus more on my Hydra teams. We got some really good Hydra champions here. We got Mishinaki, great Hydra DPS damage dealer. We got AoE Hex, AoE decreased defense, and then of course his A1 HP burn that hits super hard. Mishinaki, great for Hydra. Wouldn't mind a second copy of him for sure. Furo, one of the best damage dealing support, well, damage boosting support champions for Hydra. He brings a ton of resistance. He has the Veil. He has this passive that is just insane for boosting your team's overall damage. And then he brings AoE block buffs, which is one of the hardest debuffs to have on your team from a contributing member. Basically, you want somebody that does more than just AoE block buffs, but Furo does so much more. He's awesome, especially in a 9-piece protection set if you can swing that. Actually, all these champions are actually good. All these champions are good if you pull them. Great, congrats. Also, you got Kira here, piece for Makage if you're missing her. Helicath, obviously very good for Clan Boss. Stultus, very good for Dragon Heart, just the goat for Dragon Heart. Him and his crazy passive that reflects the poison back onto the dragon. It just makes Dragon Heart so much easier. You can speed farm Dragon Heart. Of course, you have Nagash here, great defense-based Spirit Nuker with the AoE stuns, great for Centranos, for example, as well as dishing out some good damage. The epics all are pretty serviceable here. We have a Skull Crusher for the counter attack, very solid. For Clan Boss, for example, Sandlash here for the extensions, good for Clan Boss as well. Seeker here, good for Clan Boss as well. So definitely a little bit of everything for everybody. 6% chance at legendary, so similar to Sacreds, similar to the last summon pool. The problem with this one is that it's actually 30 to summon. So if you were like me and saved 25 from the previous one, well, this one's 30 to summon. So you're out of luck. This is also one of the problems with trying to save these prism crystals. So if you don't know from my previous videos, you can save these prism crystals by basically not collecting them in your events or tournaments and just leaving them and letting them expire. As long as the summon pool is expired, then when those crystals from your events expire as well, they just go into this inbox without a pool active. Therefore, you can't. It doesn't automatically pull them. So that's how I save 25. But in this case, the 25 doesn't really work fully for the 30, so that's a little bit of a drawback. And then you can also like factor in like conversion costs, for example. For example, in the previous week, if you're paying whatever tournament points for 25 crystals, they basically depreciated. They're no longer worth one pull anymore. They're worth, whatever this is, 85% of a pull. So there is some negative to obviously holding the crystals because you don't know the future value of them, but I digress. I wanted to hold my crystals. I didn't like the previous pool. We'll take my chances with this current pool. It looks awesome. Definitely want to participate if we can. All right, up next, Plarium just dropped this announcement for us. So we are getting on Tuesday a extra legendary event from Ancient Shards. Ancient Shards. So if you pull a Ancient Shard and you get a legendary, you're going to get 2 legendaries for a price of 1. Very, very good event if you are super lucky, 1. Number 2, if you are close to your mercy. So for example, what I mean by mercy is we have Shard Tracker here on RSL Helper, for example. Click your mercy, boom, it's been 25 Ancient Shards since my last legendary. That means I'm not close to mercy, because for Ancient Shards, mercy is 200. It starts at 200, and after 200, you get an additional 5% chance at getting a legendary. That means by your 220th shard, your that will be a 100% pull to pull legendary. In my case, participating would be pretty big gamble because I would have to prepare myself to basically spend 180 ancient shards at least to get 2 legendaries. Now that doesn't sound that bad, and obviously you can get a legendary before then. But of course, it's dependent on your account, right? Like for example, I'm sitting on 325 ancient shards. It might be worth it for me just to expecting to pull 2 legendaries for 180 shards. That might not be too bad anyways, because I have so many ancient shards, and at this point the value of them just doesn't seem like it's going to be that high anyways. Just because, yeah, these events seemingly don't pop up too often. And yeah, to be honest, I feel like almost participating. I have to think about it a little bit, but I think I might. For my other account, I think I'm sitting on 3. So my mercy is very low. That means yeah, it's probably not a good idea to participate considering your mercy is low. If your mercy is really high, that means your price for the legendary is going to be much lower, which makes this event very, very nice. You're going to get yourself 2 legendaries for relatively low cost. Keep in mind that there's no summon rush or champion chase or any other summon event attached to it, so you're not going to get maximum value. So I would definitely recommend not participating if you don't have a large ancient stash pool, or if you're not close to mercy. So if you have like, I don't know, if you have like 100 and you're close to mercy, the thing is, if you come up empty-handed in these events, it feels really bad because you're pulling at 0.5% rate to get a legendary. You're pulling at normal rates, non-boosted rates. You're not going to get a lot of epics. It's very hard to get your legendaries, so you have to be prepared to stomach a big ancient sink here. Okay, so I'm going to leave that up to you guys for your own accounts. We also have a triple reflex for Ice Golem. So Ice Golem reflex is going to be one of the best sets for endgame Hydra from Ice Golem. The thing is, we will be having a Ice Golem epic only event coming up in 23 hours here. Epic only event paired with the reflex gear. The problem with the epic only event is that to do hard Ice Golem is actually quite difficult and time consuming without R-Tac. So if we're going to look up HP burn, because that's going to be how you're going to be dealing with the Ice Golem, in terms of epics, you actually don't have that many options. You have Mordecai, and that's about it. I mean, you could go for Geomancer. Geomancer might work. Mordecai might work. Achak might work. In terms of what's in the vault here, I mean, does this guy work? Crank, I forgot. I think he does have an AoE HP burn, right? Yeah, he does have an AoE HP burn. Okay, well, you do have some options, I guess. I guess you can make a team. I'll have to look into this a little bit. Once I get my team going, I'll let you guys know in a future video, but just some brainstorming here. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any ideas, but Ice Golem Hard is pretty difficult without R-Tac. But yeah, we'll take a look and see how we go for the team building. But yeah, super nice event with the reflex, and then we have the dungeon diver matching with the Ice Golem, both with the prism crystals. So like I said, this prism pool is actually really, really juicy, especially with the Furo in the mix. Obviously, like, it's a pretty long shot to get him anyways, 6% chance to pull a legendary from the crystals, but at least it's a chance. So with the dungeon divers here, ideally we can farm pretty hard for Ice Golem and then get some reflex gear while getting the crystals, which is super, super nice to double dip there. Lastly, actually there's 2 other things I want to talk about. So there's a Sand Devil tournament that popped recently, and this is kind of outrageous. If you guys notice this middle soulstone here at 5250, that's absolutely outrageous, because previously it was 3000 points, and then when there was crystals available in the sand attack, it was 2600 points. So when there was crystals available, the crystals would be, I believe, the 3500 bracket, and then this middle soulstone would be about 2600, and then in a regular Sand Devil tournament, this would be 3000. 5250. I thought it was a typo, or I thought there was something special about the Sand Devil event that allowed us to get more points or something, because this is a massive increase. And I hope this is not the case moving forward, but maybe Plarium, their analytics saw that everyone was just crushing the Sand Devil for really good value, and then they bumped it up because it was really good value. 3,000 points for this, for my team, which was Double Nut. Double Nut obviously is like the best team for Sand Devil farming, but it was insane value for 3,000. Now we're at 5,250. It's just not as good anymore. So you're looking at about, I think, about 2,000 energy. It's closer to 2,000 energy now. Previously it was about 1,200 energy to get this. Now it's about 2,000 energy. So not so good to see that for sure. And then lastly, for the events this week, we have the Soul Chase tournament, which is pretty cool. I mean, Soul Chase is basically the champion chase version of the Soul Stone. So you just pull the Soul Stone and then you get the value based on whatever you pull. The thing with the Soul Stone Chase is that it's a fine event. It's gonna give a crystal from it as well, but we really like the double boosted chance for the big 5 or 6 stars blessings from the stones. So those events actually have a lot of value too. So now we have to weigh our options, whether we want to participate in the soulstone chase so that we can get some low-hanging fruit, energy gems, whatever, void shard, or we want to save our stones and then participate in a boosted rate event sometime in the future. We know they're going to happen. They seem to be happening every 2 or 3 months, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good ways to progress your account. Because the big soul stones are really, really important for progression. And of course, they're very hard to get. So saving your stones for that event might be worthwhile and skipping the soul stone chase. However, there is a crystal located inside the soul stone chase. So I do want to participate and get that juicy crystal as well. So definitely things to think about, definitely things to consider. Let me know in the comments below what you guys plan on doing. Some cool stuff happening this week. Wouldn't expect a fusion announcement this week. This week we should be expecting a champion chase at the weekend. And I think there are rumblings of a 2x ancient, I believe. 2x ancient this weekend. So perhaps the extra legendary event for the ancients shards is basically to drain all your ancients leading up to the weekend, which is 2x ancients. But anyways, we should expect a fusion announcement sometime next week, or sorry, the start of the fusion sometime next week. We are not sure when the announcement could be. The announcement could be Friday, could be Monday, for example. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting week, I think. Looks like nothing crazy like a Titan event or anything like that from Plarium. They're just going to go with the triple X boosted events for the dungeons. So we also got Spider, and then we got Fire Knight coming up this week as well. Ogren Tribes accessories. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking about Ogren Tribes. Regen would be good for Fire Knight, but yeah, Spider, Ogren Tribes. It might be a epic only, actually. It might be epic only event for Spider. We already had the epic only for Fire Knight, so I expect epic only for Spider. But who really cares about Ogren Tribes accessories? Not too sure. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about these events, what you guys are planning to do, what you guys are excited, not excited for. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video.